Hey, good morning, guys. I am here outside, grateful to be outside, and it's sun on my face. It's been raining for the past couple of days, and got up this morning, and then the sun comes out, and I stop and I reflect on the account with Jesus and his disciples, and they were going to cross over to the other side. The Gospels give the account that there they were in the boat, and a storm suddenly rose up, and they were just so scared and so afraid. And I'm thinking, like, they've been watching this man's ministry, all this time, and yet a storm comes up and nobody thought to, like, hey, you know what, this guy does stuff, so why don't we just ask him. But eventually they went to wake him up. He was sleeping, and they said, like, carest now that we perish. Like, hey, are you not concerned? There's a storm blazing outside, and you were sleeping. I stop and I think about us and our situations. Many of us have known God. Many of us have, we're old enough to have passed through some stuff, and so we kind of know that God is able to do a lot of things. Many times he surprised us with his deliverance and the way he worked in situations, and yet the next time a storm comes, we're like those disciples, like, carest now that we perish, Lord. Like, you'll see what's going on around. And he's there just calm because he knows that he's in control of everything. Hey, I won't lie. There are sometimes when some storms hit you. I trust me. I don't know about you, but there are times when I was left wondering, like, Lord, like, were you there in all of this? You see what's going on? But then I stop and I remember, the rain will eventually stop. The sun always comes back out again, all right? Today, I just want to remind you that the God we serve, not only the one who knows and is in control of the universe and knows whenever a storm is going to come, whether it's going to not come, how intense it's going to be, but he's in control of it, and he can just look at it and just say, hey, peace be still. Once we look to him, once we ask him, he's able to say, peace be still. And so I just want to encourage you that when you look at that situation, remember that God is saying, peace be still. So we don't need to get flustered. And the other thing I want to remind you is that the sun always comes back out again, because they actually say there's a time and season for everything. And so there are times in our lives when we got to get a few storms and a few things that may buffet us a little while and help us to remember that, hey, we need God. Help us to remember that he is in control of the storms and everything that we face on a daily basis. Because when we look to him and we know that in our strength, they couldn't do anything about the storm, but he could. And you may not be able to do anything about the storm that's raging in your life right now, but God can. So look to him. Remember, the sun always comes back out again. He got up and he looked at them and he rebuked the wind, the waves, everybody. He calmed down everything. So not just, this little part of your situation he could look at, or that little part of your situation. The whole situation, he could just start to A, B, C, D, every part, and say, hey, peace be still. And he's saying that today. Just trust him. And you'll be able to see that calm come over not just you, but the change that eventually will happen in your situation. So remember that the sun always comes back out. This is one of the things I love about the rain. I love the smell of the rain. I love the freshness of the outdoors when the rain is finished. And I love the fact that no matter how many times it rains, the sun comes back out again. So no matter how many things we go through, the sun will always come back out again. We still have the light of God coming back, shining on our lives. And most of the times it comes out like today with an intensity that any excess water that might be harmful, it sops it out. So any little excess thing, any little excess hurt, any little excess bruises that we might have along the way, the light of God, the Son of God is able to dry that up, all right? So that's my word of encouragement to you today. Remember, the sun always comes back out. Remember, he loves you, and I do too. Be blessed. Have an awesome day.